First information, the new Clash Royale balance changes for the January 2024 season, and for the first time ever, we get 40 cards to get balanced in the new year. But anyway, first, I need to apologize for the quality. Quality is absolutely bad, I feel like, because I'm Coone, not at home at an event, so I'm actually recording out of my bed, but I have to do it. Supercell just announced the balance change, so I want to talk about them now. So, guys, first of all, we got the Evolution Archers, and Evolution Archers are by far Coone the best evolution in the entire game. I feel like we all agree on it. For 3 licks, it's just so much damage, so much value, not dying from arrows, and we get 2 small changes there. We need to read it up from my phone here because I don't have anything. I don't have 2 monitors. I don't have anything, so we're just gonna take a look there, but I think it will be fine. So currently, as you guys can see, the range from the Evolution Archers is 6.5. After the update, this is at least the plan. This is like just like work in progress, so you guys need to give feedback, which I can pass to Supercell. So let me know what you guys think about every single change from 6.5 to 6. I mean, to be fair, it's like not the craziest change, but like still 0.5 damage from a card, which is kind of relying on the radius, on the range damage. It's pretty big. Also at the same time, we're gonna get another nerf there. I feel like the last nerf was like the power shot damage, but also the power shot range gets nerfed from 5 to 4.5. So this is really interesting. A double range nerf from the normal, from the Evolution Archers. So this is like interesting. A double big nerf. I don't really know why they decided to nerf like the normal range and the power shot range. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. So the damage, like normal damage, normal radius or got nerfed, but also like the maximum damage. So this is really, really interesting. What Supercell is kind of saying with this change, the evolved use archers power shot window is maintained, and it's still out of range normal archers, but the overall range is reduced. Okay, I get that. So it's not really as big as a nerf as I would thought, because the power shot range also gets closer. Okay, it's kind of like I would say a rework, a kind of changing interactions, because I just kind of took a wrong like thought about that. So like the power shot radius is small, so that means kind of like a troop is closer, they still get the power range shot, but the overall range gets decreased. So this is interesting. I don't know what you should think about it. Is it really making a change? Does it make Evolution Archers in some situations better? Not really sure about that, but let me know what you guys think about it. But that's really interesting. Okay, making the overall range smaller, but also the power shot range smaller, which allows the Evolution Archers to get more value in decent situations. But of course, when troops are more far away, you're not going to be able to get like the power shot range. This is interesting. Also, Prince gets 2 changes of the interaction. I mean, Little Prince already got 2 nerfs. Once at the Clash Royale 21 Challenge, it was an emergency nerf after the card was just like out for a few days, and then before the Clash Royale League World Finals 2023, a ton of pros were saying you need a nerf, and they got another nerf. This time, the big boy, the big Guardian, gets nerfed 1.8k hit points right now, everything on tournament standard. After update, just 1.6k, minus 11% hit points. With like, you could think that's not really too big. 1.6k is still solid, but you need to think about it. It's a tank, right? 1.6k minus 11%. It's huge. It's huge for the tank, especially in some situations. It's going to survive some shots, and now it's not. So this is really interesting. At the same time, the damage from the LP gets nerfed from 110 to 100, which also means a minus 9% hit point. So this is like, of course, really, really interesting. Yeah, I know. Like, just like a double change nerf, I still think the card will be really good, to be honest, because just like, oh, it's so good to 3 elixir champion. Maybe they should have just added like the 1 extra elixir at the start when they released the card. Now I think if they make it 4 elixir, nobody will play it anymore. But I feel like at the start, when they published the card, the first change should have been an elixir, maybe. Maybe that would have been the right direction, but let me know what you guys think. Will Little Prince still be the best card after the update? Next up, we go to Goblins. Of course, the card Goblin is included in so many other cards, in like Goblin Brawl, Goblin Gang, and I think that's it. Did I miss anything? Okay, also the Goblin Drill, but Goblin Drill we're also taking a look later. This card will get a huge rework in this type of balance change. So what Supercell is saying, the first hit speed gets changed from 400 is currently the first hit speed, and it will be 500 afterwards. What does it mean? 25% slower, most likely. What they're saying is bring goblins to similar first hit speed as any other cards, making them easier to hit before they get a hit in FX Goblin, Goblin Gang, Goblin Duel, and Mortar Evolution. Okay, so they're just kind of making it a bit slower, the first hit speed. First hit speed is actually a really, really interesting thing. I don't know why they're working with 400 and 500. It doesn't really make too much sense. So just like 25% slower will be the first hit speed. This is, I think, the easiest explanation for you guys. This is interesting. I mean, first hit speed is a change which I'm always talking about when I'm talking about the biggest influence in the changes. Because after Elixir, I feel like first hit speed makes cards buggy, glitchy. I'm always like taking the example of the Rascals back in the days, which were the best card by far in the game. And they kind of changed the first hit, and since then, Rascals skills aren't the same anymore. So seeing the first hit change to Goblins overall, I think it's a good idea, to be honest, because Goblins are just so busted. Next up, we got the Rage. Currently, the Rage has a duration of 6 seconds, which is like able to rage all the troops. I feel like just one of the most annoying cards where you just play Rage in annoying decks, Goblin Giant decks, Sparky decks, just like, I wouldn't say it's, I mean, it's not really playing in too many decks, but in decks it gets played so broken. But they decided to also, of course, also in some Royal Giant variations, but they decided to nerf the range from 6 seconds to 5.5 seconds. So 0.5 seconds less duration, minus 8%. Honestly, I'm fine with that. I personally hate Rage. Let me know what you guys think about that. So guys, next up we got a card which I didn't expect to be in the balance change. It's going to be about the Barbarian Barrel. Barbarian Barrel will get like a damage decrease of 7%, which is absolutely huge. I don't know why I decided to do that. They are saying because everybody's using a Barbarian Barrel, it's just a bit too strong in the current meta, but I personally don't feel the way. In my opinion, by far best small spell is Log. A ton of people are also playing Arrows. A ton of people are playing also Rage. Snowball is also included. So I feel like currently the mini spell game in Clash Royale is as healthy as it never have been, in my opinion. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Does Barbarian Barrel really need a nerf? It's not going to change too many interactions, but still, seeing Barbarian Barrel being nerfed, I just don't get why. Next up, we got Evolution Recruits, and I personally feel like the change they're going to bring is wrong. So personally, I feel like if I'm talking about the Evolution Recruits nerf, I would say the charge is what makes them broken. They're saying the bonus, like the extra damage, is what makes them broken. So they're saying they're going to nerf the bonus damage by 6% overall, which is, you could think like it's really cool, it's really good as a change overall, but I personally just feel like it's not really changing too much. So as you guys can see here, this is like the bonus damage here on the top left corner. This will be changed by minus 6%. By minus 6%. I don't understand why. They're saying like the Royal Recruits get a lot of value through their charge and charge attacks. So reducing the additional bonus damage is helpful, but I don't get why they're even saying the additional damage the charge is making them broken. So I personally just feel like reduce the charge damage and just keep the Royal Recruits evolution as it is. Of course, when I talked about evolution artists and now about the evolution Royal Recruits, about the stats and so on, it's just affecting the evolution, right? The normal card doesn't get any changes. Next up, we got the Bowler. Bowler is, in my opinion, one of the most frustrating cards to play against, and they decided to change the first hit speed by 20%. And what the heck? Think about that. Of course, Goblins is always a bit different. It's like 3 cards, and they're honestly like attacking really fast. So of course it's gonna make a change. But compared it to Bowler, Bowler is a really heavy guy who takes like a long time to get like the balls out. Also sometimes like just like retargeting and so on. You know, like how often the Bowler is not gonna able to get the shot, needs to refocus. It's a really slow guy, right? And making the first hit speed 20% slower, in my opinion, is absolutely massive. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe you guys have a different opinion, but I personally feel like changing this interaction by 20% is maybe a bit too big. Now guys, it's time to start with all the buffs in Clash Royale. First of all, we got the Giant Skeleton. The hit points will get an increase, and this is just crazy. This is just crazy, guys. So they will get a rechange. Currently it has 3,424. After the change, you will be almost 3,700. 8%. 8% HP buff for the Giant Skeleton. Of course, Giant Skeleton not really getting played a lot. I just feel like it doesn't fit too good in the meta. But like, what the heck, dude? This is like an absolutely massive buff. As I said, like it's like Giant Skeleton has so much HP, and changing 8% of the card might be too big. Let me know what you guys think about it, especially since the fact that Giant Skeleton is just like a defensive card, just cleaning up everything, and just feel like personally Giant Skeleton one of the most annoying cards in the meta. But I personally, I don't know. I think it's just too big of a change. Why not just starting with 3% or something, and not just going directly in the meta with 8%. Next up, we got the guards. Honestly, guards currently just get outplayed by evolution skeletons, so like skeletons overall. Also, of course, with goblins, but I personally feel like Supercell is kind of going the wrong way. So instead of like just like buffing guards, just like wait what happens with guards after they nerf goblins. Maybe guards get like a viable option there, but they're also deciding to nerf at the same time. So nerf goblins, like a really squishy card, which is like getting played like into cycle decks and like mortar, hog. And also guards can kind of fill the same spot, right? So they decide to buff the shield HP from like 7%. 7% shield HP buff is absolutely massive. So here, as you guys can see, Coone has 240. After the update, it will be 256. So this is like honestly a good change. We don't know which interaction is going to change, but still, like overall, having a bit more of a tankage of the shield can be helpful. Next up, we got the first champion introduced in this Clash Royale Balance Change update. The Skeleton King will get a small buff. The hit speed gets increased from 1.6 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Honestly, I can deal with that. Skeleton King doesn't really get played a lot. But I personally feel compared to the other champion, it's like the only really viable champion to Little Prince. So I would say like Skeleton King after Little Prince is the only champion you currently see in the meta. Like of course with Monk just getting like played because Little Prince is strong and just like is really good against also evolution archers. But like I would say Skeleton King currently the third best champion, also getting buff. Like this could be a bit too big overall. Even just like even just like 0.1 second faster. And next up, we got the Bomma, and Bomma, I don't really know why they're doing that, because we all know Bomma soon gets an evolution in Clash Royale. If you guys didn't know that yet, check out one of my other videos where I've talked about the 3 evolutions coming into Clash Royale really soon. And Bomma gets a 3% damage buff, which is interesting. So currently it does, as you guys can see here, 222. After update, it will do area damage of 2030. Now, not like the biggest change ever, but just like adding some damage. Always like the small changes should never be underestimated, because they can have such a big input. Next up, we got the Golden Knight, one of the most annoying cards in the thing. And I kind of thought when I saw that Supercell was kind of giving us the balance changes, and I was like looking, oh, Golden Knight gets a buff, that they're going to change something at the radius of the dash. But they're not doing that. They're just changing one small thing about that, which is going to be the dash damage. Coone does 310, it will be 335 afterwards, so 8% more. Could be interesting, of course, more damage on tower, more damage on troops, more value in general. I don't really think it's going to change too much, but I personally like it that they're not going to change the dash interaction once again, because it always feels so glitchy, so buggy, and you never know what the Golden is doing. So I personally think this is a good change in my opinion. Next up, we got the Archer Queen and the ability. The ability from the Archer Queen now gets a buff, which is really interesting. So currently the Cloaking Cape has an invincibility duration from 3 seconds. After the update, it will be 3.5 seconds. So way more damage. As you guys can see here, the damage per second will be 448 damage, second boost plus 180%. This is like what she does, right? And if you kind of think about it, she's going to do it after the update 0.5 seconds longer. This could be big, this could be massive, killing troops sooner, better against mini Pekka, lumberjacks and so on, and also on tower, of course. Kind of think about that, right? 0.5 seconds, you get like more of an extra boost damage. This could be big, but I personally like it. Archer King Coone is not really good in the current manner. So as the last one, we got an interesting one. The Goblin drill gets an entire rework in Clash Royale. So the duration will be changed from 9 to 10. So the lifetime, which is okay, interesting. But like the spawn start also gets changed. So I honestly don't really know what they mean. So spawn start 1k to 500 minus 50%. Hit points gets also kind of reduced from 900 to 820. So what does it exactly mean? The duration gets changed a bit. So the lifetime, as you guys can see here. But what do they mean with the spawn start? So I think the spawn start means when they're like coming into tower, it will be like way faster when I'm seeing this. So okay, so it takes longer to maybe like the lifetime is a bit longer. The start until they like the spawn is like really way faster, but they have less hit points overall. So kind of what they're saying is here, this rework allows the Goblin drill to generate an extra Goblin left untouched, but reduces the HP, making it easier to intercept. So okay, this is like basically a change which you're also doing with like with the I feel like with the buildings and some of the Goblin are like kind of in a different way. But so it means when you're not like countering the Goblin drill, it will be an extra Goblin, but like with the reduce of the HP, it makes them easier. Like it makes easier to counter the Goblin drill overall. Okay, this is really interesting. So I don't know how it's gonna change a lot. Is it even gonna change something? Maybe I'm just too dumb to kind of understand what this could mean in Clash Royale. I'm honestly not able to show you gameplay yet because I don't have the dev build now ready. But like, whenever we get to the final balance changes, these are just, as I said, work in progress. We of course take a look at every single interaction as we always do. As I said, just work in progress. So Supercell needs to get feedback from you guys. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think about them. I personally think they're kind of interesting. Not the best balance changes of all time, not the worst, but I really love that the fact that Clash Royale is finally doing 14 balance changes. Even it's really interesting to see them doing that after they drop level 15. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. I'm out. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Goodbye.